What's up, guys? Naturegirl 30 here. Now, as you can hear my voice, I actually did come back from seeing the Thursday night showing of Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, from all the reviews that I've seen on YouTube, they're doing a spoiler-free version, and they're actually trying to be courteous for those that have not seen it yet. Because the official release date is going to be tomorrow, Friday, on the 18th. So for those that haven't really seen it yet, I'm going to do my best to try to not have as many spoilers as possible, and I'm going to try to make this spoiler free. I guarantee nothing, but I will do my best to try to make it completely spoiler free, and you will judge for yourself. Now, instead of really going into the plot, because the plot can probably give a lot away, I'm just going to talk about the characters straight out. Now, Daisy Ridley as Rey is probably one of the biggest gems of this entire movie. I haven't really seen a heroine like her since Carrie Fisher when she played Princess Leia in the whole series. She actually is a huge gem in this entire movie, and there's a lot of growth that's going to be happening to her a little bit too quickly, but I will say this, it's going to be some decent growth. It's going to be a lot similar to what happened, in my opinion, to what happened in Empire Strikes Back, but honestly, she makes a really great character. The chemistry between her and Finn, played by John Boyega, is amazing. And as for John Boyega's character, Finn, I will say that at first he's like, I didn't really like his character at first. But then as time moved on and as the movie moved on, you actually can see that there is some growth in him, that he has to grow up real fast because of the situation that they're in. And honestly, he has room for a lot of potential. So I'm not going to necessarily completely X him out. But the second character that the third character that I really do love, the third hero, in other words, is Oscar Isaac's character, Poe Dameron. I actually do like Poe a lot because he reminds me a lot of Han Solo. He takes risks, but he takes risks when it's needed. He is very strong, especially when it comes to being tortured. We actually did see the trailer when he was being tortured by Kylo Ren, and the guy is pretty tough. He's tough as nails. He has a huge mission behind him, and not to mention that him and Finn actually became close friends really quickly. But not to really get too much into that, but I will say those characters as a whole is great. And what makes it even better is that you take the old nostalgic characters from the original trilogy and you're able to blend it in with the new characters without it making seem like, you're throwing stuff in there for nostalgia's sake. It actually does have a purpose. It's germane to the plot. It's not just something for fan service. It actually does have a reason of being there. It was great to see Harrison Ford as well as Chewie in there. It was great to see Harrison Ford as Han Solo, and it was great to see Chewie in there. I don't know if that was Peter Mayhew or not, but either or, it was great. It really was great. It was great to see the Millennium Falcon. It was great to see Princess Leia. Well, now she's General Leia. It was great to see them. It was also great to see R2-D2, and the cutest little thing that I know is going to sell, it's already sold tons of toys, is BB-8. I love BB-8. He's the cutest little droid I have ever seen in my life. A little soccer ball with a head. Absolutely adorable. But what made it great was they actually were able to take the old and the new, blend them together, and make it work. And the characters themselves, both old and new, had so much chemistry that it just worked. And I really did enjoy it. I really did. But the one thing I'm going to definitely say is it kind of sort of seemed off, but not entirely off, between Leia and Han. But there was some really nice banter back and forth, and you can kind of feel that there is some kind of love there, but a lot of stresses have happened in their lives, and you can tell about the change. But either or, you can feel the love is still there. You can feel the chemistry of how you felt when the Return of the Jedi happened. It was great. It really was a great moment. And speaking of nostalgia goggles, you're going to be wearing them a lot. For those that remember the original trilogy, you're going to see a lot of nostalgic moments. Whether or not the moments with the new characters are kind of similar to what happened in the old, there's actually some old that they actually go back to Return of Jedi, and they actually are able to blend it in with the plot. And like I said, it is absolutely amazing. But moving on from the heroes, let's move to the villains, shall we? And I'm a villain girl. I like the villains because a good villain shows an even better hero. And honestly, by far, the best villain that I actually have seen so far is Kylo Ren. Adam Driver playing Kylo Ren. I love Kylo's voice. I love his demeanor. I love how he literally He literally makes people fear him. Not to mention he's both feared and respected. The New Order in itself is by far surpassing by far surpassed the Empire, and you can kind of tell in their technology that they use. Oh my goodness, it is phenomenal. But Kylo Ren is definitely at the helm. You have a few other minor characters in there, and honestly, they're making a big deal saying that Lupita Nyong'o is actually in this movie. I don't freaking see her. And if she is in it, she's probably wearing a mask like everybody else. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of famous people in this movie that you probably won't be able to pick out by finger unless you actually seen it 4 or 5 times. But I hadn't seen Lupita not once. And if she was in there, she wore like some face paint or something. I have no idea. I didn't spot her at all. But there's a few people I did see in there. There was one person from Heroes that actually thought I was part of the Resistance. And there's a few other A-list actors that are actually in this movie, but you would never know. Which is good, because you don't want to take that away. You don't want to take that away of the movie. You actually do want the movie to actually kind of stand alone and be new in itself. But honestly, guys, the villains by far is amazing. And I absolutely love what they did with the New Order. And the New Order is an intimidating force, and they make it seem so. They made everything seem massive. You never really imagine how big a Star Destroyer was until you actually see it on the ground. And then you did actually see it in the trailer at Jakku. You actually saw how big and massive the old Star Destroyers really were. And now seeing how the New Order and how their technology is, good grief. They really did upgrade it, and they made it look good. I will say this, it's signature J.J. Abrams when you see a lens flare. And there were lens flares in the spots where it's supposed to be, but it wasn't as bad as Star Trek. So, but honestly, it was there where it was supposed to be, but you knew that was J.J. He had to put his signature in there. But regardless, man, it was a well done movie, guys. There was a lot of twists, there was a lot of turns, there was a lot of moments that you will expect, especially for those who are familiar with the lore and familiar with the saga itself. There's a lot of twists and turns that you're going to expect. It's not how it was for Empire Strikes Back. It's not how it was for the prequels. You kind of already knew. But honestly, it really was not at all like Empire Strikes Back or not Attack of the Clones, but the one after that, Revenge of the Sith. It wasn't like Revenge of the Sith. It's something that you're going to expect. Like all the twists and turns, you're going to expect them. Especially the heartbreaking moments. You're going to expect them too. But even if you do expect those and you can kind of predict what's going to happen, it's still a well put together movie. It's very enjoyable. It's a fun ride. Man, it really did kind of bring back a lot of great memories in me for a person who's a Star Wars fan. And even though you wear nostalgia goggles, you can kind of see a lot of flaws in it, and you can kind of see what they could have done. And there was a lot of things that they just left unanswered, but that was for the next movie. But other than that, guys, even the original trilogy, and I can't really knock it for its flaws because the original trilogy has a lot of flaws in it. And I know that the prequels have a lot of flaws in it. There's no such thing as a perfect movie. It's all about whether it told a good story, introduced new characters, as well as keeping it in sync with the plot, making sure that the old characters were in sync with the new ones, and making sure that they actually reached their overall goal, and they did. Honestly, guys, this is a great story, a great tale, a great movie. And for those who haven't seen it, see it, because you will enjoy it. Now, I will actually make a spoiler. We'll make a spoiler video, but right now I'm just going to do spoiler free. Probably wait maybe a few days and actually have you guys see it for yourself. But other than that, guys, enjoy this movie. Have a good time, and you will. And for those that really don't like it, that's how you feel. But honestly, guys, I really believe that you will enjoy it. But my overall thoughts is this. Like I said before, you're going to enjoy this ride. Go see the movie, and just don't have any high expectations about it. Don't think it's going to be better than the old ones, better than the original trilogy, or better than the prequels, because if you think that way and your expectations get too high, you're just going to be pissed off when you leave. All I can say is it's Star Wars lore. It sticks to Star Wars lore. They don't change anything around or make it new. They actually do make it consistent to what happened after Return of the Jedi. It was great. All I can say is it was an amazing movie. But guys, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Leave a comment in the comment section below for those who actually have seen Star Wars Force Awakens. And I'm actually interested to know whether or not, what your favorite Star Wars movie is. Whether it's Return of the Jedi, whether it's Revenge of the Sith. I want to hear exactly what your thoughts are and how you feel about those movies and which one is your favorite. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Naturegirl 30 signing off. Peace out, guys. Later.